Hold me closer, Tony Danza. Catch me out on the highway. Hold me closer, Tony Danza. Boom, boom, boom. We'll keep trying to get speech chat working over here. Who wears short shirts? Micah wears shirts.
Chris likes to wear hot pants. Bring those
Patantes.
hot pants back.
Micah likes to wear patantes.
Straight from Japan.
From Japan.
Hot pants.
Thank fuck. Who is fuck? And why are we thanking him? Or her? Sorry, fuck.
Scorpio blue.
Did not mean to assume your gender.
Scorpio blue.
Oh, Scorpio.
Well, split my dick and call me Caitlin.
You promised me you weren't going to... No, I didn't. I said go ahead and stream. You said 3 o'clock. It's fucking 6:30, bro. That was... Even if we're going off of your time, that was an hour ago.
You promised him, Chris. You promised him.
Whole hour ago.
You promised him.
I'm only going to stream for a little bit anyway. I'm going to try to keep it quick and short tonight. I've already been working on this phone, so... You hate Lewis's chat? Yeah, it can be a little bit much. That's what happens, though, when you get a lot of people in one area. The regular chat's not working today for some reason, so I had to switch back to the YouTube chat window. So it's not as pretty. Not as fancy. So that kind of sucks, but...
You should hear some conundrum on Chris.
A cum drum?
The cum drum I'm in.
Yeah?
Oh wait, I can just pull it over to this hard drive. Okay, never mind. No more cum drums.
Pull it over to what hard drive?
This hard drive that I just formatted. I'm gonna boot off this drive, and then I'm gonna pull all the stuff and put it onto this drive.
That's what you do.
I'll put it into that laptop.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
And then I'll put it onto an external.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh yeah.
Quit playing with the pecker.
Oh yeah.
Chris over there playing with his pecker.
Well, there is a reason they call it peckerwood. You're a meanie. No, you're a meanie for not charging $800 for board repairs. If you were a real man, what are your problems? Micah, I don't fight, I don't argue, I just hit that bitch with a bottle. Your new name is... I got hit in the face with acetone. I don't want to go in my mouth. It was very close to my mouth. Almost went in my mouth. Almost got some mouth feel. Some mouth feel. I know, I've seen the surgery.
That's weird.
Why is it weird?
I don't know.
You don't ever watch surgery videos?
Not split a dick.
I watched one where they took a 400-pound mass out of a dude's scrotum.
Figure it out.
It was huge. The
Figure it
man's
out
balls.
what?
The man's balls look like Randy's off of South Park.
Do you have legal marijuana?
No. Alright, so I've dried some paste out because I really like how dried paste works in these stencils. So as you can see, the paste is extremely dry. Like Micah's mother. That's why we have to bring... That's why we have to bring little bottles of spermicidal lube. Oh, thank God you brought me a little bottle of lube. Couldn't handle your 4-inch cock. Yes, 400 pounds. Alright, let's get to reflowing. This should reflow at a good steady rate. There we go. Now we need to come back in and tap down any of our free spirits. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of them free spirits. Alright, so that should be cooled off now. Let's poke the PMIC out. Woohoo! Reball PMIC, so beautiful. Much beautifuls. Hold me closer, Tony Danza. I keep knocking my thing loose here. I have to tape it better. I have to put more tape on it. More tape. Chat is very dead right now. Why is chat so dead? Somebody watching? Is there like 3 people watching right now? Usually it's lively. Someone messaged Paul Daniels. He's missing all the fun. He's probably playing with his scope. He's pretty... It was funny to watch a stream the other night. You could tell he just had this like shit-eating grin on his face when he got his scope out. It's like, oh yes. Either my chat's locked up or nobody's talking. I'm gonna do a test. And it came right up. So y'all are being quiet tonight.
I heard the BIOS and it's got something. I don't even know what the model is. Acer what?
I enjoy watching Lewis when he's struggling like that because then it makes me feel not so shitty when I struggle with stuff. No offense to Lewis. I just don't like feeling like I'm not very good at stuff. Lewis is very talented as much as he downplays himself, so it feels good to know that I'm not completely shitty. Alright, so I've already cleaned off my PMIC area. I've already reballed my new PMIC. This board had a VCC main short and also had a backlight output short. The backlight output short was corrosion underneath of one of the backlight drivers. The VCC main short was about 80 ohms. After lifting PMIC, we found our short, which was under PMIC. Okay, that reflowed. At least I hope it did. Saw your test, but YouTube foobar at the moment. And my sidekick, Micah. Micah's sidekick.
What?
Micah's like my... It's like my Robin.
No.
He even wears the tights. It's weird.
No.
The really skinny,
How the fuck do I
tight tights. What are you doing, Micah?
trying to disable secure boot?
Disabled. It's under boot security, bro.
I know, but like it doesn't give you like clickable options.
Disabled. I'm disabled. Alright, so let's see if we have a VCC main short now. Hopefully we don't. I don't have to pull PMIC back off. Yay, we don't. Let's see. Number 1V8 lines are short. Let's check NAND. Oh. That NAND cap is probably bad. We do have a short on that NAND line. But I would guess it would be due to the fact that this cap is missing its end. So we're going to do the old push your tweezers in until it falls off the board technique. The brute force. The get the fuck out of here technique.
It won't let me edit the secure boot shit.
Okay, no more short now. Where'd that cap go? Maybe we can test that. May have thrown it away already. Alright, so NAND is not shorted. That's good. 1v8 is clear. So let's boot this up and see what we got. We probably got half backlight, if I was guessing. I'm not using that screen, that's for fucking sure. Shit is gross. Let me go grab a screen real quick. Kenna to the Benna on the 101 antenna. Chat's gone quiet again. The quiet chat. It's abnormally quiet in chat today. Normally it's a chatterbox. Get off, you son of a bitch. Kenna, I wasn't talking to you. Alright, let's see if we have any short. Hey, no short. That's good.
Now you have to put a password.
Let's see. Does she boot? Oh, I didn't boot that time. Try it again. Still no boot. We're hanging about 100 milliamps. I'm trying to kind of figure out what that would indicate. It could be TriStar maybe. I did put some heat around TriStar. 100 milliamps. What does 100 milliamps mean in the grand scheme of it all? $100 data recovery. Yep, I'm thinking it's TriStar also. Usually I have seen, I think it was 100 milliamps I saw before with a bad TriStar. I just want to make sure though. Could be PMIC we just did. Could be not putting out the correct powers or something. It's just hanging at 100 milliamps. Alright, so let's see if anything gets hot. Oh, the video where she recovered the data off that blood-soaked phone? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Alright, so let's replace the TriStar. What?
You say blood-soaked?
Yeah.
Who did?
Justin.
Crazy.
Yeah, some guy got killed with his phone on him. And his family wanted the pictures. She had to dig like dried blood out of it. Pretty nuts. Okay. TriStar is off. Let's clean out the underfill Make it look all pretty. Pretty princess. Alright. Let's put on our new TriStar. Is chat updating or is it just nobody talking? I can't tell. Usually there's a lot more chat than this.
Still not coming up in the boot, so I got the secure boot turned off and everything. Drive's running.
Drive is running.
Yeah.
Mellow today.
This may be a lost cause.
You turn secure boot off and turn legacy on.
I didn't see an option for legacy.
There should be.
Try again. That fucking BIOS on here is hard.
Okay. TriStar is on. What's up, Christopher?
Yeah, there's nothing for legacy.
Lord, give me a sign. Nope, still not booting up. So it's cycling on and off. Almost makes me think that PMIC might be fucked and take it off and replace it again. That PMIC I had on another board and it was working, but I took it off to put it on this one to see if maybe it would work, but doesn't look like it. This one's definitely looping. It hits about 100 milliamps and then turns back off. 100 milliamps, then turns back off. Alright, I'm going to try a different cable just to make sure. Yeah, the cycling on and off is probably from the PMIC. I don't think it's Tigris. Tigris wouldn't, I don't think, would make much difference at this point since we're directly injecting voltage. Tigris is mostly there for the battery gate control and boosting up for. Yeah, it's still cycling on and off. Alright, so I'm going to pull PMIC back off and see what's going on there. So I'm going to put some flux on the CPU and put it on top of our coin, because I'd like to pull this PMIC without dropping it, because I'd like to pull it up with the balls intact and see if maybe I just had a cold joint or something. looks okay there. I did pull a little early for some of them, but for the most part, that PMIC looks fine. I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway. We'll do another pull off. I don't have any new PMICs left. I need to order some, actually. I guess I don't think I have any. I'm pretty sure I don't. Yeah, I don't have any left. I need to order some more. I never thought I would use PMIC much, but as much water damage as we've seen, the PMIC tends to be fairly important. Because a lot of the times the PMIC ends up with liquid damage under it. What's up?
It's not good. I don't know how to do it with the spiders.
Well, there's... Is that VCC main, or what are these? Are these NC? Because those are still corroded and didn't take the solder. So that could be what we were having issues with. Let me check that. That very well could have been what our issue was. Kind of hope it is. Alright, what are you? How many pads down are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8. 8 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not connected and not connected. Okay. What's next to you? VCC main's right next door though. So this is VCC main and these are NC pads. Not sure how NC pads get corroded that much. But evidently they can. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab another PMIC. I'll cut off another strip of braid, clean the board up. Alright. I'm going to check the other side for any type of solder balls. We look all clear, no solder balls poked out, so that means we haven't gotten the other side even hot enough to melt solder, even on the parts that are not underfilled. So we should be okay with the CPU. I always try to be cautious with that because the CPU is on the other side right there for the PMIC. So it can be dangerous. I'll show you, this was the original PMIC. As you can see, it's got a lot of gray shit that was underneath it. Looks like you can just see all the gray material that was under there. Let's see if we can find us a nice donor. Preferably one that's never had the sticker removed. That doesn't look like it's water damaged. Like this one. Perfect specimen. So let's put down some flux. I'm going to let this get hot enough to where the solder completely melts. I'm not overly worried about the CPU on this one because we're not going to use this board anyway. I want the PMIC off of it, and I would like it to where I don't have to dick with the pads much. Okay, PMIC is off. Let's remove the old solder from this PMIC. I have to put something down like a paper towel. Keep this from sliding around on me. Alright, Paul, you have a good night. Thanks for joining us, as always. Alright, so let's clean this up. Looks like we've got one dry pad there. We'll have to clean that up with some flux and solder. Okay. These paper towels make it hard to keep this shit in focus. So I apologize for that. Alright, so that is cleaned up and ready for some new solder. Lois isn't Hay-Hole. I like Lois. Paul doesn't, or Lewis doesn't think that way, Paul. He does show appreciation, and he has sent a lot of people Paul's way. And I think a lot of people should be thankful for what Paul Daniels has done for the community. I mean, the tool he's made has been very, very helpful. I would have never heard about Paul if it wasn't for Lewis, so. I knew the software, but I didn't know who Paul Daniels was. After Lewis said Paul Daniels, I was like, well, who the hell is Paul Daniels? And I went searching YouTube and first found the magician Paul Daniels, which is what everybody first found. And then I found Paul Daniels the actual man, myth, and the legend. Okay, so it looks like we had one ball jump. Looks like it went to the pad next door. Alright, so let's see if we can get him back in his home. We're going to put a little flux down just to help these kind of sit down. There we go. Paul gets some donations on his stream. He also gets a lot of donations directly through PayPal from the website. I think Paul Daniels is, from what I can gather, he doesn't necessarily want the help. I mean, neither. I mean, nobody wants to beg for anything, but he fully appreciates, I think, anything that anybody gives to him. I mean, every time I talk to Paul, he's pretty much like, "Thank you all so much." Like, man, don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you do. He's added a bunch to the community, so it's a little I can do back for him. I mean, hell, his software alone has made me enough to cover whatever I've donated to him. So I fully appreciate everything Paul's done for us. I appreciate anything that you all do for me. I mean, this channel's grown quite a bit, and it's been from the contributions of you all. Figure anything out over there? Alright, so we got our new PMIC ready to roll again. So let's put down some flux. Alright, so let's hold this approximately where we think it should end up. Gonna wait until I see the flux boil out. Let it cool for a second. Okay. PMIC sprung back. Should be good. Let's go ahead and cool. I can agree with you, Paul. Like, I feel like Paul Daniels has done it, maybe not so much for Jessa, but definitely for Lewis. But everybody's their own person. I can't say how somebody else is going to be. I try to help out others if I can. After talking to Paul Daniels and just kind of getting to know him, like, that's why I felt the need to help him out, because Paul's obviously trying and has had some hard luck, so that's why I wanted to help him out. And I think now that he has a scope, it's going to be awesome. Alright, let's see if we get any different results with this new PMIC. Nope, same exact results. What the fuck is going on here? Alright, so we need to look for possible shorts. I'm trying to think what could be shortening it out before it ever boots up. Something's keeping it from turning on. Like, I get the initial 100 milliamp draw, which looks about normal, but then it bounces back down to 30 milliamps. So there's got to be something shorted somewhere that's keeping it from booting. I checked these caps and stuff for the chestnut boost circuit. Didn't see anything there. Let me check the CPU. We got some ugliness up here around the camera LDOs. Okay, that looks good. That all looks fine. Let's check out here. The cap here next to Wi-Fi looked like shit, and we had a VCC main short, so I removed that. But there's no change there. I'm almost thinking about removing the touch ICs. And possibly the Stockholm, the NFC stuff. Let's see if we have any more NAND issues. So I don't see anything out here either. I removed the baseband PMIC just to avoid it. It had a burnt cap here, but underneath the chip looked okay. But we don't need PMIC or the baseband to make the phone eligible for data recovery, so I'm not overly worried about that. Let's look in. See, the side of chestnut looks, or the side of the backlight looks fine. Yeah, everything there looks okay. Chestnut looks okay. All that shit looks alright. PMIC is flush. There's some junk underneath the Mason chip. Let me see if I can see under the... Can't really see under that. So let's take Mason off and let's take the NFC bullshit off. Mason most likely has some corrosion under it. Mason does have a few important lines under it, so maybe there's an issue there. Okay, so there's a little corrosion under Mason, but nothing crazy. See what the underside of the chip looks like. Yeah, see, you got a little corrosion through there. This board's starting to become a candidate for running through the ultrasonic and then let it dry out and try it tomorrow. Let's go ahead and remove the the NFC shit. I'm just gonna let the board pull it away. Yeah, there's nothing under there that looks out of place. No corrosion or anything. Yeah. I don't think that Lewis is necessarily not down to earth. He just has an opinion that I would assume that most people that tend to watch me probably don't have. Alright, let's see what happens this time. Oh, same shit. It's just hanging and then loops. Hangs then loops. Oh. Wait a minute. No. Still hanging. I didn't see any corrosion around Tigris, and it looks really good, so I don't think that Tigris is an issue. What is your problem, board? Should we remove... I don't think Cumulus would have anything to do with it. We got a nice big solder ball in there. Wonder where that came from. Probably from those two pads that didn't fucking take anything. The NC pads. What could it be? What could it be? Huh. Alright, I'm gonna hook up a USB port real quick and just see what it does. Let's see if TriStar acts normally. If TriStar acts normally, I'm gonna hook up a battery and just plug it in and see what it does. Alright, so it's acting a little weird. It's almost acting like Tigris isn't outputting. I don't know, Tigris is outputting in the voltage it should. Yeah, it's like the phone doesn't want to boot at all. I mean, almost like the NAND is dead somehow, but we don't have any shorts on NAND. NAND's underfilled, so I can't see that it would have any issues like that. Let me see if I can get a Apple logo or anything on the screen. Okay. Let's check voltages around CPU. Okay, 1V8 SD RAM is there. These are GPU, I think, so I don't think I'm going to see anything on these. GPU won't get voltage until the phone tries to boot. CPU has power. Yeah, so the CPU is powered up. Everything's powered up. Okay, let's see what the chestnut boost signal is doing. I would assume nothing since it's not turning on. It could be an I2C line. It's not hanging like it normally would though with an I2C line. Usually I2C lines hang and they won't do anything. Alright, Zoe. Well, welcome to the stream, and I hope you have a good nap whenever you do fall asleep. So we did have corrosion down here, but none. Doesn't look like any got around Tigris. Tigris is making the voltage it should. It's really acting like CPU is not booting up. Like it's not the OS isn't loading is almost what it's like. Alright, let's see if we can put it in DFU mode maybe. If I can get it in DFU, I know the CPU's okay. So it's gonna have to be something with the NAND maybe, or one of the power lines or something maybe. I'm not sure. But let's see if we can get it in DFU. That will be a interesting thing to know. Mike is about to throw up on himself.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna head out.
Like a fetus?
That's
What all did you work on?
iPhone 6 Plus screen, iPhone 7 screen, iPad Air digitizer.
Okay.
Put a battery in the iPhone 6 Plus, got it working for you. iPhone 6s charge port, and then backed up the LG.
Take 80.
What is it?
80.
And here's this. Here's the chip.
Okay.
Here's the drive.
Okay. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Don't forget your money.
Not yet. Make sure I use.
Alright, let's see if we can get this in DFU mode.
Slip it in here.
Okay, so it does go into DFU mode. So that's good. So we know the CPU is fine. Because if DFU mode works, then CPU is fine. Alright, let me open up 3U tools and see what's going on with this. Okay, so it sees it in DFU. Okay, so we're gonna kick it out of DFU.
Alright, I'll see you tomorrow.
Alright. Okay, it's out of DFU. Yeah, so it's still not booting. I'm gonna run through the ultrasonic. We're gonna dry it off, and then probably come back to it tomorrow after it has time to dry overnight. Seems like we've either got some corrosion somewhere keeping it from booting, or maybe NAND's fucked. We did have a bad cap on NAND. I'll have to see which NAND line it was, but I believe it was the 3-volt NAND line. Let me see, I can tell you right quick. It was indeed the 3-volt NAND line. So maybe there's a possibility NAND got hit and this might be for nothing, but we're gonna run this through ultrasonic real quick. I'll be right back. So 7 minutes in there. What's going on? Guess it would help if I put it in the right bag, right? Come on, bitch. Like that. Data recovery off of that LG Touch IC. This one was TriStar. That one, we got one more from this box. Yeah, if it's NAND, there's nothing I can do. The NAND, if it's corrupted or anything fucked anyway, there is no path to data. I wish there was a way, and I was reading an article the other day about how they got the San Bernardino terrorist phone information, and I was reading the whole write-up on how they did it, and they actually they went through and they figured out a way to clone the NAND so that they could try over and over and over passcodes. Using a brute force technique. It ended up taking them less than 24 hours after they got the NAND technique figured out, how to copy the NAND perfectly onto another NAND. I don't know if that holds true for newer ones, but if there was a way to do complete copies that way, it would be awesome. But from what I understood is they went through several iterations of trying to figure out how to copy the data, because there's specific timings and codes and bits of information that are sent when the NAND is booting, and those all must be present, and you have to know how to copy those. But it was really cool. They figured out. Yes, it was with what the fuck? Cellbrite is the Israeli company that does it. What they did is they did a data analysis of the data coming out of the NAND as it booted. They actually built a jumper board that allowed them to monitor the data lines and prevent too much interference on the data lines, because originally they've got pictures of it. They wired the NAND up with jumper wires originally to try to watch it and scope it, and they had problems with data corruption, so they actually built a little jumper board that fixed all the data corruption stuff, and they actually watched the data that was transferred back and forth between the NAND, and they made a copy of it that way by copying like the boot section, I guess, and then copying the actual NAND itself. They were running into issues when they initially did just a straight copy of the NAND onto a new one. The phone wouldn't boot up. It would just hang and boot loop. They ended up finding a section of code that was transferred at a different time or frequency during the boot up of the NAND that they found after they were able to watch it and kind of collected all the information. So they figured all that out, and they figured out how to clone the NAND perfectly to where they could just make multiples of the same NAND. That way they could try over and over. Every 6 times they would reflash the NAND and then try it again. And the NANDs could only be reflashed like some 1,600 times before the NAND would start to fail. And then after that would happen, they would switch to a new NAND, and they would just keep going. They'd put in 6 times, and then the machine would wipe the NAND and restore. 6 times, wipe the NAND, restore. And it would do this every time until the NAND failed, and then they would swap the chip out, and they eventually got it. I think they said it took 30 seconds to reflash, and the passcodes would take no time to enter. So every like 35 seconds they would have a new try. So it took them, I think it said after they tried, I'm sure they used some crazy ass fucking machinery. They weren't sitting there typing in individual passcodes, but they eventually figured it out and got all the information off. It's pretty cool shit. I wish they would, I mean, they obviously are a very smart company. Cellbrite does a lot of work for the U.S., just like defense and stuff like that. Our local police departments use Cellbrite. Anytime they need data, they send it off to them. It's pretty crazy. I'd love to be a fly on the wall and just kind of watch and see how they do this stuff. Especially the like the data analysis through the oscilloscope. Like just watching the data come through and logging it all is just amazing to me. Alright, so the ultrasonic should be close to done, and then we're going to run it through a quick bath, dry it off, and see what it does. If it boots up, cool. If not, we'll leave it overnight, because the last one we did would boot up and turn itself off within like 5 seconds. I let it sit overnight and dry out, and when I came in this morning, we were able to get a full backup, and that person got all their data back. So I'm hoping we can do the same with this one. Ultrasonic set for 7 minutes. Martin, I've seen the 3D stencils. The new ones are supposed to be good. The old ones, they said they didn't exactly match up. But the new ones are supposedly a little better. Every phone you see gets cloned. Wayne, I need you to sell me your adapter for the new prog. I need to be able to read SD cards. I really don't want to buy the PC 3000 flash machine if I can read SD cards with this one. I finally got in my S6 adapter today, so I'm going to do those tomorrow. Well, I'll pay you for it and definitely be appreciated. I've got an SD card that's been here for a while. It's a micro SD, but it's in one of these stupid adapters, but it's got a bunch of photos a guy wants off of it. And I almost pulled the trigger on. I contacted PC 3000 about their flash stuff, and I almost pulled the trigger on it, but then I didn't have many jobs for SD stuff, but then we've had several S6 requirements, and I figured I might as well spend my money on the S6 stuff. But if I can get an adapter that doesn't cost me fucking another $1,300 just to read SD cards, I'd be very happy. What's crazy is these stupid little adapters for the new prog, like this one for the S6, just this adapter, $350. Like, I understand they've done all the work, but Jesus Christ. I mean, I paid them $900 for the programmer. Okay, so I'm just taking my hot air and going across this just to kind of evaporate any excess alcohol that's left on the board. We're not trying to reflow anything. We're not trying to take anything off the board. We just want to dry it out some. Well, I don't mind paying the money. I'm more than happy to pay for any adapter to read SD cards or anything like that. I mean, I'll be happy to pay another $300 out. It's just, it's odd to me that the company that sells the machine, like the adapters, are so much. Baseband shield still on? Yep. Baseband PMIC is removed. Wayne, what do you do about the encryption though? Is there any way around the S7 encryption? I know you had talked about getting around some encryption on the older stuff, but I don't even know how to do that. I'm still learning. Alright, let's see what it does now. I'm gonna grab my cables. Okay, the amp draw looks normal. Oh, still looping. Motherfucker. Oh, no shit. Alex, you ever seen something like this? This phone has no shorts. It goes into DFU mode, but when you try to boot it, normally it goes to about 100 milliamp draw, and it'll sit there for a second, then it'll go down to 30 milliamps, and then it'll loop and start again. And I've replaced TriStar. Tigers doesn't look like it has anything around it. I guess I can replace that, but that's about it. NAND had a shorted cap on it that we removed. There's no shorts on NAND. Processing. We'll recheck everything here. It only goes up to 100 milliamps when I press the power button. We had a VCC main short on this under PMIC. I replaced PMIC. It was doing the same thing, so I thought PMIC was bad. So I replaced it again, and it's still doing the same thing. As you can see, I've removed quite a few components. We had some corrosion under Mason, corrosion under the audio IC. There was nothing under the NFC fucking Stockholm shit. PMIC had corrosion under it. I have not removed Cumulus. We had corrosion under the backlight driver here. Doesn't look like there's any under this backlight driver. Chestnut looks okay. I think this is flash. I don't see any corrosion under it. There was some corrosion up here, but I didn't read any shorts. Let me pop this off and make sure. Be kind of pissed if it was that. There's no short there. I highly doubt the LDOs are short. Spectre, possibly, yeah. That's what I was thinking, like it could be a NAND issue. I hope it's not a NAND issue because that means there's no path to data then. Let me go ahead and just replace Tigris just for the fuck of it. I don't think it's bad. It's making 4.2 volts when we plug in the charger. But I'll replace it anyway just to make sure. I suspect that pull chestnut, it causes boot issues. Okay. We will pull chestnut. Chestnut's usually tied to VCC main. The chestnut boost line, grape line, and everything else are not shorted though. That's what's kind of odd to me. Okay, so yeah, that looks perfectly fine. I don't think that that's the issue at all. We'll go ahead and replace it, but I'm fairly sure that Tigris was not our problem. Based on how it looks. You have chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Tiny bones. Alright, so we got our new Tigris chip. Tigris is your main charging IC, so it does the voltage bump from 3.7 or whatever the hell. Well, it takes 5 volts and makes it into 4.2 and then dumps that onto the VCC main line, which is 3.7 or whatever the hell it is at the time, whatever battery voltage is. It also talks to CPU, and it does some of the USB voltage protection stuff so that if USB is fucked up, it doesn't fuck the entire phone. Okay, so that is done. Let's go ahead and clean that up. Okay, let's plug it in and see what's going on. Nope, same thing. We're still looping. It goes up to 100 milliamps and then down, then up to 100 milliamps, then down, up to 100 milliamps, then back down. So we'll pull chestnut now. I don't think that chestnut is the issue, but we'll fucking pull it just to make sure. We'll hope that there is some corrosion under here. Okay, let's see, is there any corrosion there? Doesn't look like it. No, it's all clean. We'll set that off to the side. I doubt it's a cap. Highly doubt it's a cap. Let's see what it does. Nope, still looping. Alright, so it's still looping. Witness the CPU reball. No, CPU works. I can put it in DFU mode and the computer recognizes it and sees it, so that means CPU is working. I've already checked the voltages for 1V8 SD and everything, and they're good. Let me check the shorts, if there's any shorts. We didn't have any earlier, so nope, no short. This is GPU, should be fairly low. Let's see, yep, 20 ohms, that's normal. 20 ohms is GPU. This is CPU, should be about 100. It is 100. It's not really boot looping, but it's just, it's not even getting to the Apple logo. Like, it just not booting at all. It does sound like a NAND problem to me though too, which kind of scares me because that means there's not going to be anything I can do here. I don't like not getting my data. I like to retrieve my data. Well, that's what I was thinking, but usually I2C lines hang at 80 milliamps. But we'll look at the I2C lines. Okay, so there is, let's see, there's a test point underneath here, which is covered. So that little dot right there is an I2C test point. So I'm going to scrape that back. And we're going to meter that. Let's do diode mode 0.389. That looks normal. Let's see what the other I2C line is. Where does it go? The other I2C comes over here and hits these three resistors in front of this. Let's see. This might be an issue actually. Now that I got a closer look. No, that's an anode. That's 1B8. Never mind. I was looking at this, the anode line's kind of fucked, but that's not the I2C line, this one is. 0.4. 1V8 looks normal. Yeah, 0.39 and 0.4. Uh, 1V8's there. If 1V8 always wasn't there, we wouldn't even get attempt to boot, I don't think. The 1V8 lines are present though, as far as I know. They show up on the 1V8 SD. We'll check the 1V8 normal line, but I'm fairly confident that is there too. Just based on how the board's working, it seems fairly normal. Let's find a 1V8 line just to make sure. So we're going to go to PP1V8. Okay, 1V8. Alright, so let's prompt it to boot. Okay, it's going to 100 milliamps and then back off again, so that's the same as we had before. Let's check right here. This is 1V8 and we have 1.8 volts. So 1V8 is working. corrosion by the A8 chip. No, there's no corrosion around it. There was some on that cap, but that looks minor. I don't see anything else though. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of like quarter span. Well, we're getting CPU V-core though. Like the CPU power is there. I can put it in DFU mode, so the CPU is working. This is almost like, hey, I'm trying to turn on, but I don't have any data to turn on. So it's almost like there's a NAND issue. Let me check my NAND powers and make sure all those power rails are present. Alright, so we're going to switch over to here. Let's measure our NAND powers. I have 3 volts. I have 1.8 volts, 3 volts, 3 volts, 1.8, 3 volts, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8. So all those look normal. 3 volts. The 1.8 and the 3 volts are the 2 standard power rails for the NAND. So I suspect if I have those, I probably have everything else. What are you, little cap? For 1v2, let's see if the NAND 1v2 is there. Let's find 1v2. So PP 1v2 NAND. So that's, let's see, what caps are those? That's these little guys right in here. 1v2, that's there too. 1.2 volts. CPU does work. I can put it in, what's up, Manuel? I can put it in DFU mode, so that means the CPU has to be working. If it goes into DFU, the CPU is turning on. It will not boot otherwise, though. I've already replaced TriStar. $242K resistor. Which resistor are you talking about? I don't even see a resistor next to it. There's some Zener diodes. SD RAM is fine. There's no shorts on it, and it gets 1.8 volts. I'm looking for this resistor. Oh, okay, it's over here. Is this one you're talking about? The NAND PPN. What does it read? 243 ohms. That resistor I don't think I've ever seen cause an issue. I don't even know honestly what it does, if it's some type of filtering. I mean, it's underfilled. There's no way that it's been affected. Coil grounding out? No. There's no coil grounding out. So it's still doing the same thing. I've done a DFU restore once out of recovery mode, or out of DFU mode, and kept data, but I really don't want to do that. We're not going to get image now anyway. Chestnut's not on. We weren't getting image before, so we won't be. Does it read on the Navi? I don't know. I'd have to remove it. Alex, do you know if DFU restores out of 3U tools for retained data, or is it only out of restore mode? I've done a DFU restore and retained data, but it was kind of a weird situation. I kind of want to do the DFU because it'll kind of tell me what the phone is doing, but I suspect it's just going to give me an error 4014 based on how the phone is acting, where it won't boot all the way up. Yeah, I don't think the SD RAM is bad either. I mean, we can look down the side of it. It looks good. There's no like signs of too much heat or anything, so I'm confident there. Well, let's see what that does. I have a feeling that it's not going to do anything. I think it's going to error out. I think it will error out and give me an error 4014. Because I don't think it's going to boot once it goes to recovery mode. I think it's just going to be like, fuck you. Yes, I've checked all the power rails. The CPU and the SoC lines are both present. CPU is getting 0.9 and SoC I think was like 1 volt or right around it. Those lines are there. Again, I don't think it would go into DFU mode if they weren't there. Let's see, is it in DFU? Doesn't look like it. Nope. So let's hold it. Let go power. Alright, so it's in DFU mode right now. This keyboard pisses me off sometimes. So let's open up 3U. Let's see, you're going to get an error on update due to missing baseband. That's true. Fuck. It'll also error out because of the fucking missing NFC chip. It'll give me an error 50. Alright. Well, I'm going to call it that then. I'm going to let this sit overnight. Maybe we'll come in the morning and it will have miraculously start working, which has happened before. So I'm just gonna call it at that. It's 8 o'clock. I'm ready to go home, and I'll do an early stream tomorrow. Today was busy. Tomorrow shouldn't be as busy. We're pretty caught up now. I don't have any service calls to make, so I'll probably stream a bit earlier tomorrow. But thanks for watching anyways, ladies and gents. I'll try to be more entertaining and helpful tomorrow. But throw it in a rice bucket for Wyman to check out. Yeah, I need to. But hopefully we'll get this figured out tomorrow. I'll come back to it for sure. But thank you all for watching. And OBS just said that it crashed, so it's telling me to go home. But you all have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Timmy's gonna stream. Everybody go see Timmy. Timmery.